Yo, what's up guys? Today I'm going to show you one of my favorite blitzes against trips tight end. This is a blitz that can work versus whatever shotgun formation. However, this specific shell is really good versus trips tight end. So that's why I'm going to show it to you today. I did post it in my match deep dive yesterday. So every single ebook on the site got updated. If you're a member, just go check it out. I'm going to put the full details on the screen right now so you guys can see what all got updated. Some ebooks just got ability updates. Some got some actual pretty hefty updates. As you can see, the match deep dive, CVASTs, and JRASMs, all those ebooks got some pretty sizable updates. So if you're a member, like I said, go check it out. If you're not a member, use code ACE for 15% off. Get access to all of these ebooks. They will for sure help you win more games. All right, let's get into it. Okay, so the breakdown is going to be out of cover 6 show 4, and this is going to be out of dollar, of course. So what we're going to do is go to our coaching adjustments first by clicking our right stick in at the menu, and then we're going to go to auto alignment and make sure it's on man. Then we're going to go to the bottom and make sure your zone coverage is on match, and then none of your zone drops can be on. We want these to be on default. So like I said earlier, this actual blitz setup itself, it's just the loop blitz. You can do this versus whatever formation you want. However, we do something very specific versus trips. So let me go ahead and show you. We're going to hit Y or triangle, then A, which is individual if you look in the bottom left, and then the receiver icon we want to back off of. In this case, it's going to be B, the inside slot receiver. Hit B, and then left stick or right stick up, and that's going to back that cornerback off. The reason we do this is because we want to slide the linebackers over to the trip side. So D-pad right, and then left stick to the left. After you do this, we're going to do D-pad right, right stick down to blitz all of them, or both of them, and then RB or R1 twice to contain. So the blitz is already set up. This is what it looks like. It's just the loop blitz. And I've shown you guys how to do the loop blitz out of 3-3. This is a little bit easier because it kind of goes into that spot perfectly without us having to actually touch him. If he's not in a contain, make sure you move him just down a little bit. Sometimes he'll be off by just a little bit and you have to move him down. But this is the blitz setup. That's all you have to do. You can do it for versus whatever shotgun formation you want. After you do this, you're going to notice we have this guy here. He's in a vert hook going to the opposite side of the field. That just doesn't do us any good. So we have to do something with him. You can kind of do what you want. However, I'm going to show you what you really want to do with him. And that's man him up to the outside slot, which is Y. Let me go ahead and show you why we do that. So I'm going to man him up to the inside slot for now. And you're going to see versus verticals. You're going to see it ends up being a one-play touchdown, pretty much. Because what happens is there's quarters logic over here on the left side. And what happens is this guy gets locked up on the number 1. This guy is unfortunately in a curl flat. So what that means, he's not in a quarter flat. So he's not going to match the seam. He's just going to bump him and pass him off to nobody. Meanwhile, this quarter here is going to match the number 3. So there's a huge hole in the seam. So that's why I like manning him up, because verticals is such a common play. So I like manning him up to that outside slot receiver. Now, as far as the weak side goes, I would say that a Tampa 2 shell on against trips isn't that good, especially because tight ends can just get over a cloud flat that's not zone dropped. I'll show you just like this. You know, I could have waited just a little bit longer, and there's actual like deeper tight end routes that can get over that. So I would recommend changing that as well, which I'll show you what I like to do. But real quick, one of the reasons I like this setup so much versus trips is because we have 5 players to the trip side, and this guy is lined up over the inside slot. So what does that mean? If they try to run the ball, we have numbers over here, because this guy's going to get picked up by the inside slot. This guy's going to get picked up by the outside slot, and this guy's going to get picked up by the outside receiver. So we have this guy who kind of like runs free. We also have this guy in run support because of the quarter. So overall, it's pretty good run D. It looks like you can just run base and inside zone on it, but it's really not the best. I actually don't have it in my audibles, unfortunately. But that's like kind of one of the reasons I love this formation, or this this setup. So let me go ahead and show you what I like to do on the weak side now. So we already figured out the trip side. This shell is going to work out beautifully versus trips. I will say, if they have outside apprentice or wide receiver apprentice on the outside receiver, sometimes you'll want to put that outside guy in an outside third. That way you just don't get C-routed to death. That's just kind of how I see that. But as far as everything else, the trip side is pretty accounted for. Okay, so let's figure out the weak side. So here's what you can do. Since the setup is so quick, and especially when you get it down, you can make extra adjustments. And I would say manning up the outside cornerback to the running back is a good idea. And then manning this guy up to the tight end can also be a good idea. Now, this is going to get pretty advanced. I know a lot of you guys who watch my channel probably can't pull this off. And I mean that with no disrespect, it's just pretty advanced. If you hit Y and then A again for the tight end, you can shade left or right. So if you think he's going to be on a corner route, you can just shade right. And that should help out on the corner route. What you're going to see, the corner route still actually ended up cooking, but as you can see, if they send the running back out, the blitz is going to come in cleanly. So let's look at it again. Defensive end comes in. The looper actually came in too. But everything is pretty much bagged. I know this is just basic ass verticals. It's not like the most advanced setup ever. But I'm going to show you versus other places as well. Don't worry. Okay. So, like I said, if you're expecting the running back to block, what you can actually do is just manning up this guy to the running back means if he stays in the block, he's going to man up to the tight end. So if you see like that, that's one of the benefits of manning him up to the running back. The only problem with this is if you man him up to the running back, so you see he basically watches the running back, he sees running back stays in a block, I'm going to find work, I'm going to take away this tight end. That tight end still technically wins, you could probably throw that. But the fact is we have a nice feature built in. If they send the running back out and you do not have the tight end manned up, you have to take the tight end. So I'll do it again. So in this setup, for instance, tight end's not manned up. You have to read the running back yourself as a user. And what you have to do is see if he goes out. Okay, he goes out. I have tight end. That's how you have to do it. And I knew the route, obviously, but in game, it can be tougher. You see the tight end running straight up. It could be a streak, could be a corner route, could be a sharp post, a tight end apprentice post. I know it's a lot more difficult in game, but that's one of the risks that you have when you man up the outside cornerback to the running back. Okay, so what I need to talk about now before talking about another play is what happens if they motion a trips receiver over. So let's go ahead and set up. So let's say they motion this guy over. Well, what you're going to see is that guy that was backed off follows over. So we're no longer at a numbers disadvantage over here on the weak side, which is now the strong side. So let's go ahead and look at it. You're going to see this guy's manned up to the guy that just motioned across. And this is actually perfect because most times when people motion this guy over, he's just going to be coming right back across the field. It could be on a slant. It could be on a post. It could be on a crosser. Sometimes he'll be on a streak too, but the fact is we have a Tampa 2 shell over here, which is actually going to be good now because it's going to basically double team the outside receiver if he goes on a streak. Really triple team if he goes on a streak in this case. But what you can do is change the shell. So you don't have to keep it like this. You could do man up to the running back and leave it like this. And then you just user the tight end yourself. So if this guy's on a streak, for instance, what you're going to see is he got bumped, so you could still throw it. But people aren't usually going to recognize that immediately. And he's usually not going to get set either. He's going to be a little closer in. So let me go ahead and show you a better example here. So we'll do motion this guy over. In this case, he got double teamed because I forgot to change the cloud flat to a man up on the running back. But he's just not going to be able to throw that immediately. The guy gets over there super quickly. and you can get creative with your adjustments on this side. But yeah, so that's like verticals. This shell is going to be good versus other things too. So we'll do cover 6, show 4. And then we'll do like inside cross, I guess. Do a setup like this. Back off that guy. Remember, blitz your linebackers contained. Very good setup versus an unblocked running back. So as you can see right here, the linebacker's not in a contain. We have to move him just a little bit. Running back goes out. Let's say they do something like set up like this. You see the blitz is going to come in. Everything gets bagged. As far as I know. Let me check. Yeah, so the zig is technically open. The running back is technically open. But if they throw the running back, honestly, that cloud's going to make a great play on him. They might just get like, I don't know, 3 or 4 yards. But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. This is something I really love to go to now against trips. I still use my nickel over setups a lot, but this is kind of like a more pass-heavy defense. And when we do this kind of setup where we slide our linebackers to this side and back that guy off, it's going to hold up against the run game very, very well. So that's going to be the setup. Like I said, this was a preview out of my match deep dive. That's on acemadden.com if you guys want to check that out. And yeah, that's going to be it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Drop a like, subscribe for more Madden 23 content. I'll see you guys later.